Hi, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. My name is Jody Taylor, and I'm a program coordinator here with SEO Career. I joined SEO this past September. Prior to that, I was at Target as a business analyst. I also interned in Morgan Stanley in the private wealth division. So today, I just want to shed some light on the SEOU consulting program, as well as the current SEO consulting class and corporate class. So the agenda for today, essentially, we will be doing a corporate program review. So our current SEO corporate class, which is different from our SEOU class, which is what you guys will be in, as well as a consulting industry overview, how consulting impacts the business, some success stories of SEO alum who have worked in consulting, as well as the benefits of SEO career training, consulting at a glance, some sample projects that you'll be doing as an SEO intern, as well as the very unique benefits that you will receive being an SEO alum. So our current 2015 cohort consists of 85 interns. They represent 52 colleges and universities. And the corporate division covers a breadth of corporate internships at both major Fortune 500s as well as investment banks. Some of our partners include Accenture, IBM, Citi, Moody's, Visa, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs. And for consulting in particular, our partner is Accenture this year. So as an industry overview, I'm sure as most of you guys know, consultants are paid to share their expertise and knowledge in order to help businesses attain goals and solve problems. So essentially, consultants are hired to examine a client's organization high level and then work out ways to improve it, implement action, as well as create profitable changes to their bottom line. So what makes consultancy and being a consultant so interesting is that you're able to learn on a very high level about a breadth of different industries. So that makes you a very competitive candidate because, after 1 or 2 years of consulting, you know about technology, healthcare, media, energy, banking. So it just gives you a very high level overview of a breadth of industries as well as how to strategically solve problems in those industries. Typically, you're staffed to a client, and you will travel to the client site and work with the organization's management team Monday through Thursday. You also have an opportunity to do that as an intern. So 2 out of my 3 interns are currently flying to various cities Monday through Thursday and then fly back home Thursday evening. So business impact. Obviously, consultants have huge impacts within the business. That's why they're hired, to strategically have impact. So essentially, as a consulting professional, you can teach a business how to manipulate a new software that will increase revenue or productivity. For example, you may also be brought on to a Fortune 500 or investment bank if they're launching a new product line and they want to figure out ways how to make it more profitable. You can examine this product line, the consumers of the product line, and really do an impact on their revenue streams. And you can also be brought in to reorganize or also assist with human capital management. So as you know, consultants combine unparalleled experience and capabilities on some of the world's most successful companies to deliver innovative solutions and improve their growth strategies. So essentially, consultants are the reason why these very successful organizations become even more high-performing organizations and firms. So how consulting is organized, at the, entry-level point, typically there's an associate. So after your summer internship, you're brought on as an associate. And on the associate level, you'll be doing research, data, and insight. You'll also be providing strategic analysis and be delivering financial analysis. So that's why we need a candidate who is both interpersonal and quantitative. You have to be comfortable in data analysis as well as some technologies. Even programming background is really helpful in consulting, but you also have to be able to deliver this financial analysis. So excellent public speaking skills as well as excellent interpersonal and communication skills. Next, there's an associate consultant, so more complex modeling, coaching, management, and delivering insight. And then I guess the full-time consultant or consultant would be providing analytical research and direction, as well as producing probably more commercial insight as well as more industry-specific insight. And those are kind of the three main entry points. And then from there, you move on to be a manager, principal, and then partner. So what is the profile of a candidate who succeeds in consulting? So like I said, you really have to have that technical background and be comfortable in numbers. So students who are majors in business, finance, accounting, information technology, or computer science typically do really, really well in consulting. So financial acumen, financial analysis, diagnosis skills, as well as outstanding interpersonal skills. So you must be able to pass what we call the airport test. So if you and your, partner's flight were canceled, would your partner want to spend 14 hours in JFK with you? So, being able to work strategically on teams, and a huge part of consulting is being able to, you're working with a different group on a month-by-month basis almost. So are you able to kind of acclimate to the culture of new groups relatively quickly? So Martin is one of our SEO alum. He did management consulting at Accenture. He attended or attends FIU. He has a Bachelor's of Science in Finance and great interpersonal skills. He's mature, he's polished. We can put him in front of partners or clients, and he's able to speak effectively and succinctly. He also has a great attitude and desire to learn more from others, which is really important in consulting because you're never going to necessarily be an expert in any area just because you're learning about so many different industries at once. So you also have to be a sponge and really be able to adapt and have be a quick study. So the key benefits of doing consulting. So I'm assuming you're interested in consulting, which is why you're tuned into this webinar. But if you need to be sold a little bit more, you really get to develop a diverse skill set. So you're able to, like I said, learn about healthcare, media, technology, telecommunications, and energy. So if you ever want to apply for an MBA or perhaps transfer over to a different industry. Hold on for 1 second. So sorry about that. I just realized that my slides were not switching, but this webinar will be available, so you can actually click through this PowerPoint yourself. But I'll just pick up where I left off. So you get to have a very diverse skill set. So if you're ever interested in getting your MBA, also if you're ever interested in transferring over to a different industry, you're a very competitive candidate because not only do you have this analytical and technical capability, but you also have pretty broad and deep knowledge of various industry areas. You'll also receive top-of-the-line training, and it's an incredibly high learning curve. You're forced to pick up, or assess industries, I guess, or a particular organization's issues and create strategic recommendations. So obviously, employers and graduate programs know that you're a quick learner, you're able to be strategic, and so you really get some top-of-the-line training and a cross-functional skill set that's attractive to a lot of employers. So you're also able to have a really impactful contribution on major products or major projects for high-performing organizations. So you are basically on the front lines. You're working with senior management and senior-level professionals and industry leaders on strategic projects that will actually be implemented and have a very pointed, I guess, outcome for Fortune 500 and investment banks. So, at 21 or, 25 years old, you're making recommendations that are literally going to change and, I guess, redesign industries. So you're going to be developing cutting-edge projects, processes, policies, and infrastructures that are going to have really lasting impacts on a breadth of industries. And then you have work-life balance. So consulting, as you know, is extremely prestigious, but it's also a better work-life balance than other, I guess, comparable industries such as investment banking. There are going to be some long hours, but it's not going to be this, I guess 12 a.m. to 10 p.m. sort of work-life balance that some other industries have. And you're also able to travel. So you travel to your client sites Monday through Thursday. So you get to explore different cities. You get to work with different clients, work with different senior management and organizations. So that's also really interesting and something that you also have to be prepared to do. So here are some sample projects that some of our interns have worked on, and obviously projects will vary based on a client. So your project working at a tech company is going to vary very differently than working at a healthcare company, but all of them are going to be analytically focused as well as creating strategic and creative recommendations. So for example, if you're placed in management consulting, which our partner Accenture we place there, you may help expand the client's digital marketing capabilities using social media and social learning tools. But your project, like I said, will be analytical and very challenging, and typically you have to prove your mettle as an intern in order to earn a spot. So here's an overview of our partners and roles. So our partner this year is Accenture, and it's management consulting, and you essentially will be helping with significant business issues. So strategy, customer relationships, operations, talent and organization, as well as mergers and acquisitions. The process for this, we recommend 30 candidates for a super day. Ultimately, 8 students are selected for that super day, and that super day is case study focused. So if you've never heard of what a case study is, I think after this webinar it would be a great time to kind of research what a case study is and even start practicing case studies, because the super day typically happens in the winter, and case studies take a lot of time to prepare for because it's just a new and strategic way of thinking. So I would definitely recommend you guys get the book Case in Point, or just look online. Accenture has some case studies available on their website. So SEO career training, one of the really unique advantages of being a part of the SEO career program is our training. It's kind of what SEO is known for. So prior to your summer, you will have virtual training, which is 100 hours of technical and professional development topics. So you'll be covering Excel, finance, the value of money, as well as business fundamentals and professional development training. You'll also have in-person training, which is 2 weeks in late May, and it's a really dynamic training, 2 weeks, because you get industry-specific training. So for consulting, the consulting interns got case study preparation training, as well as main frameworks for creating business solutions, which they were, easily transferable and very easy to implement once they were at Accenture. So they figured out the different ways in which to frame problems and then coming up with strategic solutions to solve business needs. We also had Six Sigma and Enabling Creativity for Strategy workshops, which were also really interesting. Once again, teaching you how to solve problems, and lean organization management, as well as Enabling Creativity for Strategy with a workshop in which a venture capital professional, he came in and essentially spoke on how to create a startup and then how to create a business model and implement that business model, which was really interesting for our students to see. We also have really in-depth Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint training, which is very helpful once you actually get to the desk. And we have speaker series and networking events with senior management and partner firms, which is probably another really huge advantage, not only from the technical side, but from the professional development side. You're able to meet CEOs and vice presidents and CFOs of IBM, Accenture, Goldman Sachs. This past week, our interns met James Gorman, who is the CEO of Morgan Stanley, and it was just 5 SEO interns and James Gorman in the room. So it's that kind of exposure that you're able to get, and SEO is able to give you access to. Our interns also heard from the CEO or the CFO of IBM and were able to ask him one-on-one questions. We also had the CFO of Johnson & Johnson come in and speak. So you get to see the incredible network that SEO has, as well as the incredible access you're granted once you are a part of this SEO career program. So some more benefits of SEO. We have 7,000 alum globally. So these alum are across various industry areas. So if you're ever interested in switching industries or switching roles or perhaps going to grad school, we have 7,000 alum who have done just about everything, went to the top MBA programs, who have done consulting, HR, sales, marketing, have started their own businesses. So you have access to these alum, and these alum are, 7,000 globally, but they're still such a tight-knit family. So they're always willing to reach out and help a fellow SEO alum. You're also assigned a mentor. So these mentors are current, pretty recent alum, so relatively close to you in age, and they're also in the same industry area that you are in, and sometimes at the same firm. So they're able to help you navigate the, unique nuances of your firm as well as your specific program area, and they're just a great resource to be completely transparent with and also help you navigate this unique corporate culture. You also have intensive online and in-person training that I talked about earlier. So in total, it's about 100 hours of training you get before you even step foot into your firm. And then you also get access. So like I said, you get exclusive invitations to C-level executive events, as well as exposure to upper management of your firm. So your manager, as well as your VP, already know your name and who you are and your background before you even step foot onto your desk. So it's a really unique experience that you get being a part of SEO. So with that, I will open it up for any questions. If you could, please, in the chat section, feel free to post your questions there, and I'll be able to answer them and read them out loud for everyone. I think I see a question. Okay, you guys are putting it in the question. Give me 1 second as I just magnify this. I need to magnify the question. How did you make it pop up? Okay, great. So the first question is, are there different consulting partners each year? Yes, there are different consulting partners each year. So this past year was Accenture, but in previous years we've had IBM, Visa, and Accenture. The next question, are international students eligible to apply for consulting? So the needs of our partners vary each year. Some years they do accept F1 candidates, other years they do not. So once again, please apply. We are more than happy to develop and work with you, and then we'll see what our partners request. Has every MBA case book available online? It may be helpful for other students. Adrian, can you resend that question? Okay, and then another question, in regards to the Excel-based training, will we receive access as a part of SEOU? Great question. So yes, there will be some online training available for SEOU students, and the specific Excel-based training, we are not 100% positive if you guys will be eligible for, but we will give you some Wall Street prep training, which will cover some finance and accounting topics, and then on your own, we may be able to recommend some Excel-based training. But as a part of SEO career, you are given access to that Excel-based training. What type of consulting training will we get as being a part of SEOU? These are great questions. So we will be able to give you industry overviews. We may also be able to give you some case study preparation, which I think is an integral part of preparing for the case study as well as consulting interview process. We are also able to give you attention to detail training. We're also able to give you some finance and accounting training. Consulting training is difficult because there's no specific, I guess, guide to being prepared to be a consultant. It's more so about teaching you how to think strategically and analytically, and also preparing your technicals, as well as giving you industry overviews. I think those three things make you a really competitive and dynamic candidate for consulting, and so SEOU is able to offer you that. We're going to give you that technical training. We will give you some industry overview training, and we'll also hopefully give you some Excel training. So is there another application/interview process to get into SEO Career? Yes. So SEOU and SEO Career are two kind of different entities, but hopefully we will be able to filter you from SEOU to SEO Career. So if you perform well in SEOU, you're engaged, you know, great job signing into the webinar today. That's one data point in terms of you being engaged. If you are doing the Wall Street prep exercises, engaging on our coaching calls, you know, editing your resume, that kind of makes you a top candidate and gives you first priority when it comes to SEO Career. So how does the transition from SEOU to receiving an offer for an internship work? What is the process? Okay, so similar question. So SEOU is more of a development program. We are not guaranteeing you an internship, but working with SEOU, we're going to make you stronger in your technicals. We're going to give you industry overviews. We're going to give you professional development. We're also going to give you networking advice and tips. And hopefully, once you're done working with SEOU, you'll be a prime candidate to be presented to our partners. And then once you are presented to our partners, then we're able to extend you full-time offers. So it's kind of a more long or a longer, more drawn-out process. So we'll start engaging with you this week, this month, and then hopefully by you know, October, November, you're ready to start applying to those internships with SEO Career, and hopefully getting an offer in November, December timeframe. Okay, so Adrian actually shared a website which I would be happy to send out. It's masterthecase.com /case interview, and it has every publicly available case book for free. So thanks so much, Adrian, for sending that out. We really appreciate it. Okay. And I'll stay on for another minute or so. I haven't gotten any new questions, so if you have a question, now is the time to ask. So someone else asked, is there a book list, Robert asked, is there a book list that you would recommend to read in order to prepare for consulting? So I think case study interviews or case study prep is probably the best way to prepare for quote-unquote consulting. Like I said, consulting is not necessarily something, once you actually are a consultant, that you can really prepare for. It's just a mix, or I guess, cross-functional skill set. So having that technical analytical skill set as well as being incredibly interpersonal are kind of like that ideal mix. So nothing can really prepare you aside from like coursework, previous experiences, you know, taking an Excel crash course maybe. But in terms of actually acing the case study interview, Case in Point is a really great book. You can order it off Amazon, and our partner firms, or rather Accenture and other firms, Deloitte, BCG, on their website also have practice case studies. So you can go on there and practice, make sure to practice with a friend, and essentially learn how to do case study as well as market sizing questions. So market sizing questions are questions like, how many basketballs were sold in the U.S. last year? So if you're not familiar with those, I would definitely recommend you Googling those, both case study and market sizing questions. Hold on, just make sure I get all of these. Okay, so should we attend the other webinars if we are only interested in consulting? So great question. I would attend some of the other webinars. It's just because consulting is incredibly competitive. Ultimately, 3 candidates are placed. So So there might be other industry areas that have some synergies with consulting, and you may not have even known that you're interested in. So I would definitely, watch those other webinars, keep an open mind. But since if you filled out on your interest form that you're interested in consulting, I will be doing the coaching calls with you for consulting. So, always keep an open mind. It's always great to have, industry knowledge of various programs, but I will be engaging you solely for consulting. Okay. So what are other questions you said we should look into apart from case interview questions? So case interview questions and market sizing questions. So those are, like I said, how many Lexuses were sold in the U.S. last year? So your ability to think strategically as well as quantitatively about, markets. Along with those, I would also keep up with business news. So the New York Times has a section called Deal Book, or also read The Economist. So just making sure that you're keeping abreast of all of the industries and high-level industry news. I would also recommend brushing up on your behaviorals as well as being really familiar with your resume. So case study interviews are also very behavioral oriented. So what I would ask you to do is say, familiarize yourself with the resume, create 4 stories that could essentially be molded or applicable to just about any experience. So if someone were to ask you in a case study or in a consulting interview, tell me about a time when you failed, you kind of have a story and you're very familiar and comfortable with your resume. So familiarizing yourself with market sizing, case study, as well as behavioral questions, I think are the best way to go about preparing for a consulting interview. Okay, so someone asked me if I could flip through the first couple slides. We will actually be sending this webinar out. I accidentally, for some reason, the screen just didn't share with you guys. So you guys will be able to see the presentation in full once we do send this webinar out to you. Okay. All right, so I believe those are all the questions for today. If you have any other questions, my email is actually on the SEO website. It's jtaylor@seo-usa.org. And if you go to the website and underneath staff, Jody Taylor obviously is my name, and you'll be able to find my email and bio there. So I really look forward to working with all of you guys. This is a great first step in terms of being engaged with SEOU and being excited. I'm really glad that you guys were able to tune in today. Our coaching calls will start shortly. And so in the meantime, I definitely encourage you guys to familiarize yourself with your resume, get familiar with consulting as an industry, rewatch this webinar, do some case study prep, and then we'll be chatting next week. So if you have any other questions, once again, feel free to email me personally, and I will be talking with you next week. Thanks so much.